guys, Neon Filter back for video number 2 of our massive sound design. And so in this video, we have our kind of basic bass kind of patch that we made in the last video, and in this one we're going to do all our macros down here and assign those to various things, and that'll really help us to be able to bring this sound alive, especially when we get into programming. So we'll start off. Macro number 1, I'm going to mess around with some stuff on this oscillator number 3, and so I can really adjust the pitch and stuff here, or not the pitch but just the timbre and stuff. So that'll do the wavetable position, start at the maximum and bring it all the way down. Do the same on that format. Go to the amplitude and start the amplitude, say about there, and be able to go all the way up. And so you'll see here, just get some pretty cool sounding stuff there. And I will name that the pitchy timbre. As you change the format, it sort of messes with the pitch a little bit. Get those squealing sounds, which is so very cool. And number 2, we'll do the feedback. Have about that much there. And so with the feedback, as you kind of go up, you'll be able to hear it gets a little bit almost like overdriven or saturated a little bit, and that's I like that sound. So feedback, I like to name all these so I remember what they do. And then with number 3, we're gonna do it with these filter 1 and filter 2. I want this number 3 to kind of act as like a low pass adjuster, and so I'm gonna add this to the side chain of these filters. And so you want to make sure that this side chain is highlighted and that the arrow is selected up. And so what this does is it, based on the amount of this macro knob, it adjusts how much this modulation affects whatever the parameter is. Here it happens to be the cutoff. So it's kind of like a percentage dry wet of how much number 5 is affecting the cutoff. And so you'll see as I adjust this, it gets kind of like, it's like having a low pass filter right there. And so that's nice. That works quite well actually. And I'm gonna do the same thing to the scream filter. Make sure that this is highlighted. It already is, and the arrow is up, so that is good. And I'm gonna call this one low pass. Number 4 is going to be the resonance of both filters there, both 100%. This is good. Resonance. Number 5 is going to be the filter type. So this is goes here. And so as I was mentioning earlier on, this allows me to select the mix between the output of these two filters. And now when I select it with this macro, I can turn this knob and it'll adjust between those two. And so, and as you remember, I put different shapes on the LFOs that affect both of these filters, so I can get a different kind of sound from the different filters and also a different shape of LFO. And so that'll kind of help in being able to really drastically change the shape using these macros. And so I'll name that filter type. And then number 6, I've set up a sample and hold here on this insert number 1. And if you check out your routing, you'll see that insert number 1 is automatically set to live after filter number 1. And you can see there's a bunch of other places where you could have this insert number 1 in your signal chain. I'm going to keep it there, and I'm going to take this number 6 and add it to the dry wet of this sample and hold with the pitch all the way up. And so we'll call that F1 SH. Kind of looks like fish. And then 7, where's 7 gonna go? 7 is gonna be this scream. Yeah, totally. So that just adds a little bit of like crunch and awesomeness to that filter 2 scream. And so I'll call that F2 scream. Brilliant. And then number 8, how about the amplitude of our noise, so we can adjust how much noise is going there. I didn't mean to press that. And then maybe I turn the color up a little bit too. So cool. And so noise. Great. All right. So and then also last but not least, we're going to get our velocity unmuted on these. So next video, oh, whoops. Whoa, what am I doing here? Holy cow. Okay. Add the velocity to the rate of this and unmute. Brilliant. Okay, there we go. So now we're all set up. And so this is kind of like all set up to get into programming. And so in the next video, I'll do a quick kind of like, this is all going to come together, and I'll show you why I've spent all this effort putting macros and adding velocity to this, because it's not terribly playable right now. As you can hear when I just mess around on my keyboard, it doesn't really sound like a ton, but this is really a great kind of position to be in with this patch, to be able to dive into programming and get like writing out MIDI notes and stuff right in my my DAW Ableton, which is what I use. So next video we'll do that, and it'll all come together in a nice way, hopefully, and we'll get something that sounds cool. All right, so thanks for sticking with me, and I'll see you in the next video. Adios.